right, listeners, get ready because today we're diving deep into Sun Tzu's Art of War, and specifically,
This is going to be good.
yeah, attack by stratagem, one of the key chapters.
Oh, it's fascinating stuff.
It is, really. We're going to unpack how to, well, win without fighting, which sounds counterintuitive, right? And why Sun Tzu values preserving your enemy.
Yeah, that's always a head scratcher at first.
It is, it is. And then, how winning all the time might not be the best approach.
There's a lot to unpack there. Very relevant, even today.
I'm ready to learn. You ready to guide us?
Absolutely. It's such a shift, right?
The first thing that struck me was this whole preservation concept. Isn't war about total annihilation, like crush your enemy?
Right, you'd think so, but Sun Tzu was way ahead of his time. He knew wiping out the enemy wasn't always the best move. Think about it, land people. They're valuable. You decimate them, you're left with nothing.
Oh, so it's less about the immediate victory, more about the long game.
Exactly. You want to use what you conquer, not just have ruins. It's pragmatic.
Yeah, it reduces losses for both sides, less chaos after.
Exactly. Less uncertainty. There's almost, dare I say, a humane aspect to it.
Huh. Yeah, I see that. And this preservation, it's not just ancient battles, is it? I can see it applying to, like, modern stuff.
All the time. Any conflict, really. Negotiating a deal, personal disagreements, even just, making your point in a meeting.
Oh, totally. I get heated sometimes, but that rarely gets me what I want long term.
Right. It's satisfying in the moment, but scorched earth rarely works long term.
You win the battle, but lose the war kind of thing.
So how does Sun Tzu say to avoid that?
He's got this hierarchy of strategic options, and the best one, supreme excellence. It's subduing the enemy without actually fighting.
Whoa, winning without a fight. Sounds impossible, like a dream. It is a high bar, but think about it. True victory isn't just racking up wins. It's about your objective.
Minimizing damage, creating a stable outcome, right?
Yes. Sometimes your opponent abandons their goals willingly, not because they're forced.
Oh, because it's in their best interest.
Exactly. More effective long term. Any historical examples of this supreme excellence in action?
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How did this actually happen?
Well, there's the story of Marquis Wen of Wei. He's a ruler, warring states, period, in China. He's talking to a strategist, Li Ke, about, how did the powerful state of Wu fall apart? Li Ke says, successive rapid victories. That was their downfall.
Wait, winning too much each caused their fall? I bet Marquis Wen was confused.
Oh, he was. Thought winning was always good.
Yeah.
But Li Ke explained, constant war, even winning, it drains you.
People get tired, resources get used up.
Yeah, and leaders get arrogant. Recipe for disaster.
So it's not just winning, it's the quality of the win. It's all connected.
It is. Now, Sun Tzu gives a counterexample too. Remember Liu Bang and Shang Yu?
Oh, yeah. Liu Bang ultimately wins, establishes the Han Dynasty, but wasn't Shang Yu, like, the guy who won almost every battle?
Famous for it. Until the very last one, that is. Battle of Gaixia, Liu Bang's only decisive victory won him the empire.
So even with setbacks, he got the bigger win because he out-strategized Shang Yu over time.
Precisely. Not just winning battles, but lasting, beneficial resolution.
Powerful stuff. But why doesn't everyone aim for this supreme excellence then? Why all the brute force?
Human nature. Ego, ambition, revenge. These cloud our judgment. We have a great story, Han Xin, one of Liu Bang's generals.
Yeah, Han Xin conquering the state of Qi, and wasn't there another strategist, Li Yiji, who got them to surrender peacefully?
You got it. Li Yiji, textbook supreme excellence. Got the king of Qi to surrender, no bloodshed. Brilliant.
But Han Xin wasn't having it, was he?
Nope, driven by ambition, maybe a little jealousy, attacks anyway.
Even though peace was an option, consequences.
He did conquer Qi, but at a cost. Li Yiji executed, king felt betrayed. Han Xin's actions, well, they sowed seeds of distrust.
So he won, but created problems for himself down the line.
Yep, won the battle, lost the bigger picture. All comes back to preservation.
Han Xin might have conquered Qi, but missed a chance for a better outcome for everyone.
Exactly. So we've got preservation, supreme excellence, winning without fighting. But what about when conflict are unavoidable?
Yeah, good point. There's got to be more to it. What does Sun Tzu say for those situations?
Oh, he's got us covered. He lays out 4 levels of attack, each with pros and cons.
This is where it gets tactical, right? Break it down for us.
The top level, attacking the enemy strategy, this is where things get tricky.
Oh, I've heard that one, like using clever tactics, right? Outsmarting your opponent.
It's deeper than that. It's about disrupting their ability to strategize.
Whoa, so not just their plans, but their whole process of planning?
Yeah, undermine their decision-making, their entire war effort. Attacking their minds, not their armies.
Powerful. Got any examples of this? It sounds abstract.
We do. Kushung, general, Eastern Han Dynasty, knew the enemy relied on one brilliant strategist.
So what did he do? Tried to outsmart this strategist.
Even more direct. Executed the advisor right away.
Bold move.
And brilliant. Demoralized the enemy completely. They surrendered. No fight. The brain was gone.
No leader, no strategy, game over.
Like checkmate. Before the game even starts. We've got another example. More subtle, but just as effective.
Oh, I love those. Lay it on us.
Banquet scene. Envoy from the state of Jin is trying to, provoke the state of Qi.
He's trying to start something.
Yeah, disrespect, hoping Qi gets rash, justifies an attack. But this clever tea minister, he sees right through it.
So did he call the envoy out? Expose him?
Nope, much more cunning. Witty remarks, seating arrangements, even music throws the envoy off completely.
He used the banquet itself as a weapon, and it worked.
Beautifully. Envoy gives up on his plan. The whole thing, there's an idiom for it. Shi Chong Zun Zu.
Okay, gotta translate for us. What does that mean?
Breaking the enemy's chariots and using the Lord's wine vessels. Perfect for attacking strategy.
You use what's around you. Unconventional methods. It's a different game entirely.
Exactly. That's Sun Tzu's genius. Those effective wins before the fighting even starts. Timeless stuff.
Mind blown. So attack the strategy, got it. What's next in the framework?
Next level is disrupting alliances, what Sun Tzu calls fa jiao. Weaken the enemy by, breaking their support system.
Oh yeah, turn their friends against them. Classic move.
Makes them vulnerable. Sun Tzu talks about diplomacy, even deception.
Oh, deception, always juicy. Examples.
Zhang Yi, brilliant strategist, warring states, period. Tricks King Wei of Shu into breaking his alliance with Qi. Disaster for Chu.
Words as weapons, love it. But wasn't there a more hardcore Fajao, something about killing envoys?
You're picking up on the ruthless side of things. It's called Shashi Fojao. And yeah, brutal stuff.
Okay, I'm bracing myself. What exactly did that involve?
Eliminate rivals for an ally's favor, even violently. There's that chilling story from the Chuhan contention. Sui He, advisor to Liu Bang,
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
forces Yingbu, the king of Huainan, into alliance by, killing Shang Yu's envoy.
Whoa, no choice but to side with Liu Bang then.
High stakes indeed. And remember Ban Chao, famous Han Dynasty general.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't he in the Western regions? Doing something similar?
Right on. He needed the king of Shanshan as an ally. Xiongnu were also vying for his support. So Ban Chao, eliminates the Xiongnu delegation.
No more competition, only one choice left.
Yep, you choose my side or LSE. Pretty harsh diplomacy.
Shows the darker side of strategy for sure. But Sun Tzu's time was all about survival, right?
Right, constant warfare. Ruthless decisions were sometimes necessary. We have to keep that context in mind.
Good point. So we've got attacking strategy, disrupting alliances. What are the last two levels of attack?
The next one, and it's already less desirable, is attacking the enemy's army directly.
Makes sense. Face to face, higher stakes.
And at the very bottom, what Sun Tzu advises against most strongly is attacking fortified cities.
Huh, why is that the worst? Seems like taking a city would be a huge win.
True. But Sun Tzu knew sieges were costly, long, and risky.
Lots of casualties could drag on forever.
Yeah, draining on resources and morale. Not worth it unless absolutely necessary.
Weighing the gains against the potential pain, huh?
Exactly. Sun Tzu says, attack a city only as a last resort.
Got any examples of someone ignoring that advice? Going for the city anyway?
Oh yeah, Chinese Civil War. General Fu Zhui, famous for defense, holds the city of Zuozhu against huge odds.
What? Like they just kept throwing everything at him?
Even poison gas.
Yeah.
But Fu Zhui held firm, inflicted heavy losses. Attacking a well-defended city is a bad idea.
Even if you've got the bigger army. Lesson learned. Sun Tzu was right.
Sometimes avoiding the fight is the best move, especially when the odds are against you.
We've covered so much already, it's amazing. Preservation, supreme excellence, these 4 levels of attack.
And we're just getting started. There's so much wisdom packed into attack by stratagem.
It's really making me rethink how I approach, everything.
That's the power of Sun Tzu. These ancient principles are still relevant today, whether it's business, personal life, even just trying to get someone to something.
It's like learning a whole new way to see the world and how to act effectively within it.
And that's what we'll keep exploring as we go deeper into attack by stratagem.
Can't wait.
It's all about recognizing, that you don't always need brute force. You can win by changing how your opponent thinks.
Oh, interesting, like a mental game.
Exactly. Like perception is just as powerful as what's actually happening.
Oh, I see. So even before the real fighting starts, you're already classic.
Classic. They get complacent, overconfident, makes them vulnerable. Think about the Battle of Red Cliffs.
Oh yeah, wasn't that the one where a small force beat a much bigger one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Zhu Yu and Liu Bei tricked Cao Cao, made him think they were weak.
But Cao Cao was supposed to be a strategic genius. How'd they fool him?
Oh, they were clever. Fake retreats, misinformation, even a staged surrender.
Wow, a whole performance? And Cao Cao bought it.
Hook, line, and sinker. His army was totally unprepared for the real attack.
That's amazing. Textbook manipulation of perception and a huge win for them.
It shows how powerful this can be.
Yeah.
But, deception is risky.
Yeah, what if they see through it?
Big time backfire. You have to really understand your opponent, their psychology.
So knowing when to use these tactics is key.
Absolutely. Sun Tzu always says every situation is different. Be adaptable.
And analyze. I'm seeing that reading The Art of War isn't just about tactics.
You got it. It's a way of thinking, a strategic mindset. Applies to everything.
Business, politics, even just day-to-day stuff.
It is. You start seeing these power games, these perceptions at play everywhere.
It's like, oh wow, I'm not just a pawn anymore. I can actually play the game.
Exactly. You can be reactive or you can shape the situation, be proactive.
That is empowering. But doesn't all this manipulation feel kind of, wrong? Isn't it unethical?
It's a good point, and it's important to be mindful. Sun Tzu never said to deceive just for the sake of it.
So it's like, there should be a good reason for using these tactics.
Right, and it's got to be ethical. The goal is always a positive outcome.
Resolving a conflict, reaching an agreement, protecting yourself, right?
Exactly. So it ties back into supreme excellence.
Even when you're using psychology, the ultimate goal is to avoid unnecessary fighting.
Absolutely. Choosing your battles wisely, knowing when to fight and when to find another way.
True strength isn't always brute force. It's adaptability, making the right choice for the situation.
Nailed it. Being a strategic thinker, not just tactical, that's a skill that helps in every aspect of life.
Okay, so how do we actually become more strategic? Any exercises from Sun Tzu?
He talks a lot about knowing yourself, your strengths and weaknesses, your biases.
Like self-awareness?
Exactly. And then observe your opponent. Study them. Try to predict their moves.
So become a student of human nature, both our own and other people's.
Right. And step back from the emotions. See things clearly. Sun Tzu always says, think ahead.
Plan for what could happen, good and bad. And always expect the unexpected, right?
Yep. Stay calm, even when things are crazy. That's a sign of a true leader.
I can see how that's valuable. But Sun Tzu says the world's always changing, right?
He does. What worked yesterday might not work today. We got to be flexible, change our approach when we need to.
It's like a game of 4D chess, constantly adapting to what your opponent does.
I like that. Mental agility is key. Finding creative solutions to new problems.
This deep dive is making me see the world in a whole new way.
It's a lot to take in, but it's exciting, isn't it?
It is. It's overwhelming, but also empowering.
That's understandable. It takes time to process. Sun Tzu's teachings, they're complex, but the more you think about them, the more you see how they apply to your life.
I'm already thinking about how I can use this stuff. But we've talked a lot about avoiding conflict. What about those times when you just can't avoid it?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes fighting is the only option. And Sun Tzu has a lot to say about how to win those battles.
Okay, this is where it gets real, right? The heart of the art of war. Let's hear it.
One of his biggest principles is choosing your battles carefully. Don't fight unless you have an advantage.
So don't pick fights you can't win.
Exactly. Every battle should be part of a bigger plan. You got to ask yourself, is this battle really worth it?
What will happen if I win or if I lose?
Right. Thinking ahead, like we talk about, Sun Tzu says it's like building a house.
You need a blueprint or it'll be a disaster.
Exactly. Define your goals first, then build your strategy around them.
Makes sense. So first we figure out what we want, then we figure out how to get it.
Exactly. And Sun Tzu has a lot of great advice about how to actually win those battles.
Okay, let's hear it. What are some of his top battlefield strategies?
One of the most famous is know your enemy and know yourself. If you understand both sides' strengths and weaknesses, you can make better decisions.
Oh, like in chess. If you know how your opponent plays, you can predict their moves.
Exactly. Sun Tzu even says to try and understand your enemy's mind, their motivations, their fears.
So it's like getting inside their head.
Right. The more you understand their psychology, the easier it is to outsmart them.
War is definitely a mental game, as much as a physical one. So how do we put that into practice?
Where deception's a big part of it. Using psychology to mess with your opponent's mind.
Right, we talked about that earlier, but how do you actually do that in a battle?
Feints and ambushes are classic examples. Trick your enemy into thinking you're attacking one place, then hit them somewhere else.
So using surprise and confusion to your advantage.
Exactly. And Sun Tzu talks about other tactics too, like spreading rumors, using spies, anything to break their focus and morale.
Wow, it's like a spy movie. But I bet there's even more, right? Sun Tzu is a genius.
Oh, there's always more. He also talks a lot about speed and agility. Always be faster than your enemy. Strike before they can react.
Always keep them guessing. Never let them get comfortable.
Exactly. He says a good commander is like water, flowing downhill, always finding the easiest path.
That's such a cool image. But how do you stay so fluid in the middle of a battle? It seems like it would be pure chaos.
That's where discipline and training are crucial. Your army's only as good as your soldiers.
They have to be able to react quickly and follow orders without hesitation.
Exactly. It takes a strong chain of command, clear communication, and everyone understanding the strategy.
It's teamwork on a huge scale. Everyone working together towards a common goal.
That's what it's all about. Sun Tzu knew that battles aren't won by individuals, but by the whole group working together.
It's amazing how much we can learn from this ancient general. His ideas apply to so much more than just war.
I know, right? It's about leadership, strategy, and understanding human nature. Timeless stuff.
I'm definitely feeling inspired. But before we wrap up, what's the most important lesson you want our listeners to take away from this deep dive?
If I had to pick one thing, it's that true victory isn't about brute force. It's about outsmarting your opponent, being strategic. Every conflict, from a war to a business deal, is a game.
And the winner is the one who plays the game the best.
Exactly. Anticipate your opponent's moves, shape the situation, and achieve your goals with as little damage as possible.
Powerful stuff. Let's bring it back down to earth now. How can we apply these ideas to everyday life?
Okay, let's get practical. Think of a tough situation you're facing right now, like a negotiation at work. Okay, yeah, so let's say you're, I don't know, trying to get a raise.
Oh, yeah, it was a tricky one.
Right. Sun Tzu would say, know your enemy.
My boss.
Right. What are they aiming for? What are their priorities? How do they usually handle these talks?
Okay, so gather intel. But how do I use that to my advantage?
That's where attacking strategy comes in. Subtle ways to shape the situation, you know?
Give me an example, because subtle's not really my strong suit.
Okay, so you could mention, like, another job offer you got.
Oh, play hard to get, make them think I might leave.
Exactly. Or you highlight a project you did that, really helped their department's goals.
It's not lying, it's just like emphasizing the right things at the right time.
Exactly. You're framing the conversation, making them see your value. And this works outside work too,
Oh, really? Like,
How do you think about those arguments you always have with, I don't know, a sibling or a close friend?
oh yeah, we all have those.
Instead of going in ready to fight, you step back. Think, what sets them off? What are they really worried about?
Okay, so know your enemy applies to everyone. Then what?
Then you attack their strategy. Not with aggression, but with communication.
Oh, so understanding them helps me talk to them better.
Exactly. Validate their feelings, find common ground, de-escalate. That's the key.
That's way more mature than how I usually handle things. I get emotional, things escalate quickly.
We all do. But that's what Sun Tzu teaches us, to stay calm, strategic, even when it's tough.
Powerful stuff. It's like a whole new way of thinking. But we focused a lot on avoiding conflict. What about when it's just unavoidable?
Right, sometimes you just have to fight. But even then, Sun Tzu has advice on how to do it well.
Okay, this is the part I've been waiting for. Lay it on me. How do we win when we have to fight?
First, remember choosing your battles. Don't fight unless you have a good chance of winning.
So don't go picking unnecessary fights.
Right. Think of it like this. Every fight, it should be part of a larger strategy. Does this fight help you reach your ultimate goal?
Okay, so it has to be worth it in the long run.
Exactly. Think about the risks, the consequences, what happens if you win, what happens if you lose. It's a lot to consider.
I'm getting stressed just thinking about it.
It is a lot. But that's why Sun Tzu says, have a plan. Before you even think about fighting, know what you want to achieve. It's like a blueprint.
You need a plan or it all falls apart.
Exactly. Goals first, then strategy. Once you have that, then you can think about tactics.
Okay, so strategic plan in place. What are some of Sun Tzu's winning tactics?
Well, like we said, knowing yourself and your enemy is crucial. Understand both sides' strengths and weaknesses.
So you can make smart choices about when to attack, when to defend.
Right. Sun Tzu takes it even further. He says, try to understand your enemy's mind, what motivates them, what scares them.
It's like you said before, getting inside their head and then using that to your advantage.
Exactly. War is a mental game, remember? And a big part of that is deception.
Right, messing with their minds, we talked about that, but how does it actually work on the battlefield?
Well, think about feints and ambushes. You trick the enemy into thinking you're attacking one place, but you're really going somewhere else.
They're totally surprised, confused, and you get the upper hand.
Exactly. There are other ways to do it too. Spread rumors, use spies, anything to make them doubt themselves, lower their morale.
It's like a psychological attack.
It is, and Sun Tzu was a master of it.
Amazing. But there's got to be more. What else did he say about winning?
Another big one is speed and agility. Always be faster than your enemy. Strike before they can react. Don't let them get comfortable.
It's like always keep them guessing, keep them off balance.
Right. He says a good commander is like water, flowing downhill, always finding the easiest path. They adapt to the situation, always changing their approach.
That's beautiful, but how do you stay so adaptable in the middle of all that chaos?
Discipline and training. Your soldiers have to be able to follow orders instantly, without hesitation.
It's like a perfectly oiled machine. Everyone knows their job and they do it perfectly.
That's the ideal. Strong leadership, clear communication, and everyone understands the plan. It's all about teamwork.
Wow, teamwork to win a war. That's a powerful image.
It is. Sun Tzu knew that individuals rarely win wars. It takes a united group, working together, with a common goal.
We've learned so much today, it's incredible. From avoiding fights to winning them when we have to, Sun Tzu's wisdom is truly timeless.
I agree. And it applies to so much more than just war. Leadership, strategy, understanding people, these are all essential skills, no matter what you do in life.
I'm definitely leaving this deep dive feeling inspired, and I bet our listeners are too. So as we wrap up, what's the one big takeaway you want everyone to remember?
True victory isn't about brute force. It's about outsmarting your opponent. Every conflict is a strategy game. And to win, you'll have to think ahead, see the bigger picture, and make smart choices.
Powerful stuff. So as you go about your day, think about your own challenges. What would supreme excellence look like in your situation? How can you achieve your goals while minimizing harm and creating a positive outcome for everyone involved?
Sun Tzu's teachings might be ancient, but they're incredibly relevant to our modern lives. By understanding his strategies and principles, we can all become more effective leaders, negotiators, and problem solvers.
Thank you for joining us on this journey into the mind of Sun Tzu. Until next time, keep learning, keep strategizing, and keep striving for supreme excellence in all that you do.